We're in PyTest Cookbook, Advanced Docker, Override, Include and Merge. There's some tips here about if we have several files. Firstly, we don't have to use the docker-compose. We can now use just compose.yml, and that's the sort of default. We can also load in a custom file with a -f flag, as you can see here, so that we can actually load different compose files. And if we load in, for example, 2, what will happen is the first will be loaded, then the other one will overwrite any keys that overlap. So for example, here with ports in our compose.yml, we're using port 8000. But if we're using an compose.admin.yml and we read that in afterwards, the ports and, shall we say, the environment are different and they get merged, a bit like dictionaries being merged. You'll find then that you can now use this as your combined compose file, which could be useful, for example, if you want to have a standard file for your development, but then when it comes to production, you want to overwrite that. You can keep them in separate files. Some further details here. And there is also override, include and merge, various different ways, and the link to the Docker documents are here. But the key points here is the -f flag means you can actually write whichever YAML file you want. That will be taken as the compose file. You don't need to have docker-compose as your default file to be read in. It's compose.yml, and if you apply in several, it'll read them in order and merge them together.